Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. The Missouri basketball teams held a free clinic Saturday at Douglas Park for Columbia youth. KOMU8's Nick Yahl tells us how the event makes a difference in the community.
Dribbling, shooting, dancing. On Saturday, the men's and women's Tigers teams came out to Douglas Park to hold a free clinic for youth in the community. For the players, it was an opportunity to get away from the everyday practices. For the kids, it was an opportunity to meet some of their favorite players.
It's a day that they'll remember, okay? They get a chance to meet and greet the players. Then when they see them in action on the basketball court, it really builds a relationship.
From toddlers as big as the basketball to maybe future Missouri Tigers. This day was all about fun, but it was also about bringing the community together.
Run to your station. The community of Columbia does so much for us. We love to get out into the community and do different things, whether it's reading at a junior high school or, in this case, getting out into the community and doing a basketball clinic.
Players highlighted the importance of giving back to the community. They say to them, Columbia is like a family. Many of the kids have high hopes to someday fulfill their dreams to play collegiate ball, but for now, they'll stick to emulating their favorite superstars. Nick Yahl, KOMU8 Sports, Columbia.
LeBron might have the edge after the finals. That's all I'm saying. The young guy may know his stuff. Welcome. Thank you for being with us and staying up with us late tonight. Hope you've had a good weekend. Another rough one for the Missouri football Tigers. The Florida Gators dismantled Mizzou and Gainesville Saturday 40-14. KOMU8's Nick Yahl explains what went wrong for the Missouri Tigers.
The Missouri Tigers look to get back on track in Gainesville, Florida against the Gators after losing an abysmal loss to the LSU Tigers in Baton Rouge 2 weeks ago. Drew Lock had a terrible day on offense, probably the worst of his career, throwing for just 4 completions on 18 attempts. The dual backfield of Jordan Scarlett and LaMichael Pirine combined for more than 200 yards and a score. Missouri's best receiver, Jamon Moore, was held to just 1 catch for 15 yards and no touchdowns on the afternoon. At halftime, the Florida Gators honored their 2006 national championship team. Although Missouri did get on the board later as Josh Augusta punched it in from 1 yard out. The Gators got the job done, specifically on defense. Jalen Tabor and Quincy Wilson had 2 key interceptions on Missouri Tiger quarterback Drew Lock that really just threw the Tigers out of whack. While the Tiger offense did struggle, the Missouri defense showed some signs of improvement after the bye week. Michael Shear had 10 total tackles on the afternoon.
There were some things we were doing well defensively, things we were not doing so well offensively, and I haven't been around a long time, but around long enough to know you better stay together, better stay tight together.
It's real easy for people to split apart, after a loss, terrible loss back to back, but we got to keep everybody together. And we should be fine.
Finally, it was homecoming for Florida, so there's your homecoming queen, Sanae St. Clair. Nick Yahl, KOMU8 Sports, Gainesville.
The homecoming court all smiles Saturday for a few reasons, as it turned out. Florida flattens Mizzou. The Tigers will be back in action. Well, gymnastics and wrestling certainly have dominated the mats for ages, but KOMU8's Nick Yahl tells us of a new sport gaining attention throughout the United States and how one Ninja Warrior is sharing his talents and guidance in mid-Missouri.
One arm across, stretch out your shoulders.
To train to be an American Ninja Warrior takes dedication.
We were training 5 hours a day, at least 3 days a week, and then rock climbing 2 other days a week. So we were training intense.
James Stortz competed in competitions in the Dallas area for the past 5 years, training with some of the top names in the business.
Sam Sand, he was always trying to make us push our grip strength, and Daniel Gill, that guy, he was one of the most efficient training partners that I've ever had the pleasure training with.
In a sport as high intensity as the Ninja Warrior program, Stortz had to overcome more than just barriers on the course.
About a month before competing in Dallas, I severely injured my hand to a point to where I couldn't actually compete. And that was a big setback for my commitment for the show, and I thought I was going to quit for a second. And then when I healed up and I got ready to go again, no, Let's hop back at it.
From Dallas, Texas to Jefferson City, Missouri, Stewart's taking what he's learned and teaching those skills to a younger group in mid-Missouri.
I've been coaching for 12 years now, and I've been helping with Ninja Warrior classes for 5. I have found that I get way more happy than these kids do whenever they get a new obstacle, get a new skill. And I really haven't thought of doing anything else besides that. It's awe-inspiring.
James is incredible. I've never met a person as happy as him 24/7. He's just always ecstatic about everything.
Stewart teaches kids of various age range and says he hopes the American Ninja Warrior program will tailor to not just adults, but kids as well. Nick Yahl, KOMU 8 Sports, Jefferson City.
Nick, thank you very much. Stewart says the gym will soon set a date for a Ninja Warrior competition where kids of all skill levels can compete.
It's pretty well known male collegiate and professional sports garner much more attention than female sports. Sports that make the most money are football and basketball, and specifically at the NCAA level, get the most media coverage. However, in recent years, Title IX equality rules on scholarships has resulted in the loss of some non-revenue sports.
I'd like to see an increase in all non-revenue sports really, because I think it would be really simple if we could just get the word out there more about games. And for example, here at Mizzou we have a Stuff to Do website, and I think it would be a great idea if all of our home fixtures were on that list so that people could easily see and have access to what's going on campus.
Becky Keaton is a hammer thrower on the Missouri track and field team, but she's also an international athlete from England.
Everything in America is on such a larger scale, from the buildings, the cars, to track and field obviously. This whole sports structure is so much more kind of linked together here and going right down to grassroots, not just at the top level.
Keaton says as a female athlete, she feels the media coverage isn't as equal as it could be.
I think that there's still a long way to come in terms of equality for the sexes, and smaller teams as well, maybe receiving more equal funding compared to other teams here that are a lot bigger and in size.
Taiwo Adeshigbin is a former Missouri soccer player who says playing in a non-revenue sport on a successful team still didn't help fan attendance.
I feel like during my years when I played, we were actually really good, and we got a lot of fans out here, but I just have never seen it overpacked, and I don't really know why.
When it comes to soccer and track and field, there are more male athletes. However, there are more female teams. While women's participation numbers have gone up significantly more than men's in the past 3 decades, men still hold an advantage in coaching women's teams. But the equality disparity goes beyond the collegiate level. Adeshigbin says in the future she hopes to see equal pay for professional athletes.
Salary-wise, especially when coming from a professional aspect, I do feel like men obviously still get the high end of things. Even though women, we are out there on the field just as long, doing the same thing probably.
While Title IX has created more equal opportunities for female athletes, there's still much to be done. Working with Amanda Henderson, Nick Yahl, KOMU 8 Sports, Columbia.